another NFL draft is officially over. So, like we did last year, let's recap the top 20 picks in this year's draft.
With the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travon Walker, linebacker, Georgia.
This is classic Jaguars, passing up on one of the best edge rushers we've seen come out of the draft in the past decade to select another edge rusher who shot the draft board for no reason. Walker is a good player and will probably be deadly playing with Josh Allen, but in no way is he better than Aiden Hutchinson.
With the second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, Michigan.
Thanks to Jacksonville overthinking the first pick, the Lions get the best player in the draft. Hutchinson is a beast on the D-line and fills a big positional need for Detroit. Add to that he's a Michigan native, and you have a no-brainer pick for Detroit.
The third pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Derek Stingley Jr., defensive back, LSU.
Okay.
The Texans really needed every position, so they were just going to grab the best player on their board. I thought they were going to go a line to help Millis out, but the Texans had other plans. Stingley could have been the best corner in the draft if he didn't sit out last year. In my opinion, Sauce is the better player, but you can argue either way.
We're back with
the fourth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner, defensive back, Cincinnati.
This is an obvious choice for the Jets. Their secondary was terrible last year, so Gardner will help it out a lot. Knowing the Jets, they'll find a way to screw him up. But for now, they get the best nickname in the whole draft.
With the fifth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Kayvon Thibodeaux, defensive end, Oregon.
To be real, I thought the Giants were going to screw this one up like they do every year, but that wasn't the case this time around. You can argue that Thibodeaux is the second best edge rusher in the draft, and a year ago, I think most people will say he might have been the best player in the draft. So getting him at 5 is great value. Not bad, New York.
With the sixth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ikem Ekwonu, tackle, North Carolina State.
I think the Panthers were planning to go quarterback with this pick. Once Ekwonu fell to them at 6, they couldn't resist. The Panthers' O-line was terrible last year, so it fills a big positional need. Ekwonu was probably the best offensive lineman in the draft, so it was a good pick. They also ended up trading into the third round to get Matt Corral. Good stuff, Carolina.
choosing
With
Colts
the
on the night.
seventh pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Evan Neal, tackle, Alabama.
Another smart pick from the Giants. Neal's considered to be right up there with Ekwonu for the best tackle in the draft, and the Giants need help on the offensive line, so this is another good pick. Can somebody please bring Gettleman back?
With the eighth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Drake London, wide receiver, USC.
I think the Falcons were planning to go defense here, but when Thibodeaux and Stingley both went off the board early, they decided to go receiver. London isn't the fastest receiver, but he's tall and willing to fight for any ball that comes his way. Add to that, he's a really good red zone threat, and you get one of the best receivers in the draft. The Falcons lost Gage to free agency and really to suspension this year, so it makes sense for them to get one of the best receivers out there.
With the ninth pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Charles Cross, tackle, Mississippi State.
Seattle fills a big need grabbing Cross at 9. The Seahawks O-line was awful last year and was the main reason Russ left. So Cross will help out a lot. The only issue is quarterback. They don't have one. Despite multiple chances to grab Willis, they refuse. It will probably be a rough season in Seattle.
Making his
In the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State.
After taking Sauce in the first round, they needed to grab an elite weapon on the offensive side of the ball. And Wilson is just that. He shows great promise and will probably transition well into the NFL. If I had to choose, he's probably the safest receiver in the draft. The Jets capped off an amazing night one by trading up back into the first round to select Jermaine Johnson at 28. Pretty good first round for the New York teams.
11th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State.
After trading up to 11, the Saints had their choice of receivers, Olave or Williams. They decided to go with the safer one of these. Olave put up amazing numbers despite being the third best receiver at Ohio State last year. The Saints needed a receiver, and unless Michael Thomas returns to prime form, Olave will have a big role to play this year.
The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 12th pick to the Detroit Lions. With the 12th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
Once the Lions saw Williams there at 12, they knew they had to get him. They didn't pay too much to trade up. I think Williams would have been the first receiver taken if he didn't tear his ACL in the national title game. Still, he shouldn't miss too much time if he misses any time at all, and will pair well with Amari St. Brown.
The Houston Texans have traded the 13th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 13th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Georgia.
I think the Eagles thought they were trading up for Jameson Williams, but Detroit got there first. So they went with the top player on their board. Davis is a beast on the D-line, but in no way is he worth trading up to 13 for. He probably would have fallen to 15 if the Eagles stayed there. The Eagles made up for this mistake by using their second pick in the first round to trade for A.J. Brown.
Pick.
With the 14th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Kyle Hamilton, defensive back, Notre Dame.
In my opinion, Hamilton is a steal at 14. He's an elite safety that will pair perfectly with Marcus Williams. I have a feeling teams will regret passing up on him.
Pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Kenyon Green, guard, Texas A&M.
After deciding not to go O-line with the first pick, they pick a guard with their second pick. Green is a bit of a reach, but he fills a positional need for Houston, so I guess it's alright.
With the 16th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Penn State.
Wasn't that surprising that Washington traded back, but after they did, all the players that they wanted vanished quickly. They needed another receiver to help out Terry, so it was between Burks or Dotson. They chose Dotson. In my mind, Burks is a bit better, but Dotson is still a very talented receiver. They also gathered more picks after losing picks in the Wentz deal. They used one of those picks to steal Sam Howell in the 5th round. So it wasn't that bad of a draft for Washington.
In this draft, Major.
With the 17th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Zion Johnson, guard, Boston College.
The Chargers continue to build up their O-line to protect Justin Herbert. Zion is one of the better guards in the draft, and getting him at 17 is decent value.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 18th pick to the Tennessee Titans. With the 18th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas.
After trading away A.J. Brown to the Eagles, they needed someone to replace him. Burks is pretty much A.J. Brown. They have similar physical traits and play style. The only question is, will he develop like A.J. Brown? If he does, then this is an amazing trade for the Titans.
With the 19th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Trevor Penning, tackle, Northern Iowa.
With their second of first-round picks, the Saints grabbed someone to protect Winston. He got killed last year, and the Saints lost their best tackle in free agency. They needed to go O-line here, and Penning was probably the best tackle available. Overall, a pretty good first night for the Saints.
With the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett,
Okay.
quarterback, Pittsburgh.
Here we see the first quarterback taken. It was pretty clear that the Steelers needed one. With the Panthers going tackle, the Steelers had their choice of quarterbacks. They decided to go with the guy that plays college ball on Heinz Field. In my opinion, Pickett should not have gone over Willis. Pickett has good accuracy and good scrambling ability, but has terrible decision making. Whether Pickett will be the Week 1 starter, we will have to see.
Carlos high, pitches it back. They throw it. Oh, it's intercepted. Murphy, touchdown, Arizona. Byron Murphy. The Jaguars get cute and get